Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Today we will continue our lesson in 2D kinematics with the more interesting topic, which is the kinematics of rolling wheel and slotted links. Okay, so far we have learned the three basic motion of the rigid bodies. Okay, rolling wheel is actually categorized as a general motion. So we have already learned about the general motion, but this is quite special. So we need to go deeper on this rolling wheel motion. A wheel rolling without slipping is categorized as a general motion. Okay, this is because it can be separated into translational and rotational motion. So we look for the holistic profile first. Okay, so we know that a general motion consists of translational and rotational, and a rolling wheel, so such as your car tire, your motorcycle tire is rolling. So we call it rolling, not rotating. So rolling meaning it translates and as well as rotate. So that's why it is categorized as a general motion. So normally the velocity of our car or our motorcycle is based on the velocity of the center of the wheel, or we call it the hub. The hub or the bearing, which connected the wheel to the car or motorcycle. Okay. So if we consider a translational motion, so that velocity, in this case, I write it as VB. So all the velocity, all the points on the wheel, we translate with the same velocity VB. Okay, and at the same time, also the wheel rotates about the bearing or B. So that will produce a general motion. So if you can see the animation, okay, so the wheel moves to that position and then rotates, and it produces a rolling motion on the left. So from the linear, from the translational velocity, all move with the same VB, and due to the rotation, it also creates another relative velocity, VC stroke B, about point B, which is the center of the wheel. Okay, and this velocity is actually same as the VB. Okay, so VC stroke B given by omega of the wheel, rotation of the wheel, omega, and omega, if the wheel move to the right, then omega is rotating clockwise. Omega cross R, so where R is the radius of this wheel, radius of the wheel, and that is equal to VB. While the center, because it rotates about the point B, then the center will have no velocity due to the rotation. Okay, so maintain with VB. While at the bottom, the arrow or the direction of VB is in a different direction, in the opposite direction of VB, but with the same magnitude. So if we combine all this motion, the top point or the top position of the wheel, we have twice the velocity of VB. So VC equal to 2VB. And the center will maintain the velocity VB. And at the bottom, because it translates with VB, and then minus VB due to the rotation, then there will be a zero velocity at point A, where the tire or the wheel touching the ground. So to check whether the tire having a rolling motion, then you just need to see this platform. This platform, either it is a road, a plane, or whatever. So if you have this platform, then it is a rolling motion. or sometimes the question will tell us that the wheel rolling without sleeping. So rolling without sleeping, it shouldn't be sleep. So if the wheel sleeping, then the 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 bottom velocity will not be zero. So in that case, we didn't call it a rolling motion. So rolling motion occurs only without sleeping. Okay, then if we draw a velocity profile, then we can see that it producing a triangle where the velocity is zero at the bottom and then increasing with the value of r, and then equal to VB or omega cross r at the middle, and then double at the top where the radius of the point from the bottom is 2r. So this is what the important that you need to understand about the rolling motion. So no velocity at the touching point of the wheel with the ground. So, and we call this the instantaneous point of zero velocity or instantaneous point of rotation, IPR. So every time this wheel rolling, the point with touching the ground is always changing, but the velocity will always zero. So that's why we call this point instantaneous point of rotation or instantaneous point of zero velocity. So once we know that it has the instantaneous velocity, instantaneous point of zero velocity, or simply IPZ, or instantaneous point of rotation IPR, then we can assume that the whole wheel rotating about this point, IPR point, with the pure rotational motion. Okay, so that is why we need to know where is the IPR. Okay, so all the rigid body that having a general motion will have this IPR, and by using this IPR, we can find the velocity of any other point on the wheel just by drawing the radius from IPR to that point, and then the velocity will be perpendicular to the radius. Very simple, actually, if you can understand. And the velocity given by the formula omega cross r cross omega cross the radius of that point is the absolute velocity, because we assume it rotates about this IPR. So that's how we can find the velocity on a rolling wheel. For acceleration, the same translational motion with the velocity of AB, which is the velocity of the center of the wheel, AB, and then uh, combining with the rotation about point B, and we know that due to the rotation of about point B, we might have the two component of acceleration, which is tangential, and the other one is normal. So for the top bottom, we have AC relative to B tangent given by alpha cross R, which is again same as the AB, and the normal component given by negative omega square cross R, and the bottom point as well, given the tangent component given by negative AB, and the normal component given by negative omega square cross R, pointing up, because the point B is the point of rotation, then the normal component relative to B is pointing to the point B. Okay, so if we combine all this, then we have the point C twice the acceleration of B, so AC equal to 2AB. The center we have the same velocity as AB, so AB, which is given by alpha cross R, and we have also the component of normal component. We have the normal component of C given by negative omega square cross R. But for the bottom, because we have AB positive plus negative AB, then there will be no tangential acceleration at the point A. Okay, but the normal acceleration is exists. So given by again negative omega square cross R. So this is the major component of acceleration on the wheel. So from here we can see that there are no zero acceleration. So we cannot use a IPR or IPZ for the acceleration because there are no point with zero acceleration on the wheel. Okay, so you should use either point A or point B or point C as a reference point. Then you can find the velocity of any other point by using a general motion equation. Okay, but the easiest way is we use the point B lah. Point B is the easiest because sometimes this expression for point A quite confusing, and the point C as well quite confusing. So you need to be careful. So the easiest is we using the point B, the center point. So how we can find the acceleration? So we just need to use either point A or point B. So in this case, I show both point. So let's say if we want to find the acceleration of point C, acceleration of point C here, so we can use point B as a reference. So using a general equation acceleration, AC equal to AB plus AC refer to B. AB equal to AC plus AC equal to AB plus AC stroke B. And AB, we know that it was given by alpha cross R, whereby R is the radius of B, starting from the bottom. So bottom meaning in the positive J, and the alpha, in this case, if it rolling to the right, then omega alpha is negative. If it rolls to the left, then alpha will be positive. And the normal component of AC stroke B given by negative omega square cross RC stroke B. So RC stroke B meaning the radius from points B to point C. And we can also use the point A. So in this case, let's say we want to find AE. AE equal to AA plus AE stroke A. And we know that AA given by negative omega square cross R due to this acceleration, plus A E stroke A given by alpha cross R E stroke A. This is E stroke A minus omega square cross R again E stroke A. So meaning we will have the relative AC stroke A. Okay, so this is the R E stroke A. Then of course we will have the tangential component of E stroke A and the normal component of E stroke A. So if we combine this in J, this in INJ, and this also in INJ, then we get the AE. Okay, so with that, I thank you all for being able to follow me this afternoon.